Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flight Podcast. My name is Jacob Shanker.
And I'm Andrew Thomas.
And sit down.
Game 3 and 4 of the NBA Finals have been played, and the Miami Heat won Game 3, and the Lakers won Game 4. Let's hop right into it, Jacob, with your Game 3 reactions. What were your reactions?
It was Jimmy Butler. That was really the whole game. He was the real MVP as we saw for this game. He is the only player, which I thought was really surprising, to not only have a 40-point triple double and the first one to win in a finals game, but also he's the first person to outscore, out assist, out rebound LeBron in the finals, which I think is extremely impressive considering all the players he's played with. Tim Duncan, Kawhi, KD, Russ, Steph, all those guys of which they're amazing, and you don't really expect Jimmy Butler to do as well as he did in this game. But I got to give credit to everybody else. I got to give credit, especially to Eric Spoelstra, who is doing really well coaching as they really found their defense in game 3 and how to really control the Lakers as they were playing a little bit of zone and then they moved to man, which really stopped AD a lot as Jimmy Butler was guarding AD. But overall, this was a great win for the Heat. You saw players like Tyler Herro, who stepped up with 17 points. Duncan Robinson did pretty well. Kelly Olynyk did great off the bench. I think overall, they were just great shooting, great defense, and great offense. There was nothing wrong with the Miami Heat in that game. The Lakers, on the other hand, were a disappointment, to say the least. I think the biggest disappointment and the reason they really lost the game was Anthony Davis. He is the big man on that team. He is the top scorer on that team. He averages more points than LeBron in the regular season and in the playoffs. And Bam Adebayo wasn't playing, right? So
Yep.
you would
Yeah.
expect that Anthony Davis would do better, but he somehow did worse with Bam Adebayo out. I mean, that's either really bad offense or really good defense. But I'm gonna say it's really good defense. But I mean, coming off the bench, also we got to give Kyle Kuzma and Markieff Morris credit as they both had 19 points. And LeBron, he didn't have a terrible game, but he didn't have a good game overall. He had 8 turnovers. The big thing as the Lakers had 19 in total. And he really wasn't able to show out in the fourth quarter. They had a chance, I think, towards the end, but then it was just gone. But what were your thoughts, Andrew?
Well, very quickly going off your fourth quarter, LeBron didn't have a great fourth quarter. He was perfect on the inside, but he was over 3 from 3, 5 points, and the plus minus was -6. But I really need to thank somebody. I know that you're going to get mad at me.
Who?
Mr. Danny Green, yeah!
That
Danny Green.
don't say his name. Don't say his name.
All right, Voldemort. Terrible. 0 for 6. 0 for 4 from 3.
How do you do that?
Ugh.
He's supposed to be the best shooter on the team. He's supposed to be one of the best shooters in the league in general. And Mans had 2 points and they're from the free throw. Come on. Like really?
Thank you, Danny. Thank you. Thank you.
No, no.
Yeah. Yes. 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 All right. But yeah, continuing, Jimmy Butler. That's the best performance I've watched besides LeBron James's defense in 2016 and LeBron James game 1 2018. This is the best performance I've seen by someone in the finals personally. Like just watching, not by highlights or anything, but watching. Like it was absolutely ridiculous. And what I've noticed, Jimmy is averaging more assists than LeBron.
I think
When
that's
Bam out of
impressive.
and also when Bam Adebayo is off the floor, he averages 11, 13. He averages 10, which is pretty freaking crazy. And for Jimmy to drop 40 on 70% from the field and no 3-pointers, it's absolutely ridiculous. Jimmy was phenomenal, and I think that they couldn't have asked for a better game.
Yeah.
And the perfect time for it too. Game 3 is the perfect time.
Yeah, they needed a win. That was a must-win game, or else the Lakers had a chance to sweep. I mean, if let's say LeBron turned up or Anthony Davis turned up in the fourth quarter, they could have potentially won that game. Um, I mean, they had a chance and they could have probably swept if they were able to win game 4. But I agree
I
with
think
you about the Jimmy.
well, I'm going to continue to say it. I always thought that Jimmy was too good to be swept, and he always had that mentality that he's like, I'm not going to get swept. I won't let it happen. He's the type of player to do that.
I think he's got an insane mentality. I remember I told you this last time in game 4 when it was going on that I feel like the one of the players that resembles MJ so much in today's game is Jimmy Butler because of his offensive and defensive and his mentality throughout all of his games, not just regular season, but especially playoffs now and the finals are really seeing that show. But I agree with you about Jimmy Butler, that being one of the best performances. I think against LeBron in the finals, which he's played against a lot of players, a lot of great players. A lot of them I think are better than Jimmy Butler, and I think that was a top 3. Or you could argue that that was the best like the best game someone had against LeBron. It was that good,
Yep.
right?
And
But
he had an offensive rating of 142, which is ridiculous. And his box plus minus was 18.
that's nuts. That's nuts.
It's
All right,
crazy.
let's go into game 4. What were your first reactions to game 4?
Well, game 4, when I think of game 4, the first thing that pops into mind is that so many bettors said Lakers by 8 or more, and then Tyler Hero hit that last second 3. And there was one guy that lost 10 grand because he said Lakers
I saw
winning
I
by
saw that.
9, and it was hilarious. And the guy's reaction, like they didn't film it, but if it was on film, I guarantee you there would be stuff being thrown around. He lost 10 grand.
That,
But
that
why are you betting 10 grand on the NBA finals to begin with?
that's true, but that's still that's so
Yeah.
funny.
It's hilarious. Jay Crowder didn't step up. Kendrick Nunn was terrible. He was just chucking up bricks.
He hasn't
And
been great.
he was missing shot. He was missing easy shots in the paint
I,
and
I,
floaters and stuff like that. Olenek definitely had a big step down from the game before, but he also only played 12 minutes. And
I think the biggest thing with the Miami Heat, who has really been letting them down, is Kendrick Nunn because he was one of the best rookies in the regular season, and
well,
now
he had a good I think he had a good game 1, I think it was. And he also had that he had all right game. Let me look at his game 3 stats.
I mean, yeah, but you need him now, right? If we're looking
Yeah.
back at game 3 and 4, and really just throughout the playoffs, I know he is coming back off injury, and he's not going to be as good, but still, he should still be doing something. I mean, this is like he missed a lot of shots. He took
Yeah.
he was 2 for 11. That's a lot. Only 6
Also-
points. So, I mean,
And
yeah,
Danny Green had a bounce back game.
I wouldn't call it a bounce back. I would not. Yeah, no.
That's funny.
don't ever say that Danny Green had a good game.
Danny Green is the best player on the Lakers.
100%, 100%. I mean, what is going on with him? It's like, okay, 10 points, not bad. It's better than what he did in game 3. But I think he could be doing better because a lot of the shots he's taking are just contested. He's just chucking them up when he shouldn't be, whether it's trying to create space to get the better shot or even just passing it out to someone else that could get a better shot. I think for me, this game, it was just a better pacing for the Lakers, right? You see in the first half, it was pretty much more or less the same. I mean, the Lakers, I feel like LeBron and AD, I don't want to say they were playing sluggish, but they weren't playing as good as they normally do. They both had 8 points in the first half, but coming into the second half, they just sorry.
LeBron didn't have a good first half. He shot
Yeah.
under 40.
Yeah,
AD was all right.
I mean, yeah. I think once they got to the third quarter, both of them just turned it on. They both just went beast mode. I think LeBron's way of playing this game was a bit odd per se. He wasn't he was attacking the basket, but not as much as he normally does. He was doing a lot of that step back 3 that we saw him do. I think he had like 4 of the shots he took in a row were from 3 and they were step backs. And
It
it
was
was
only 2.
yeah,
And,
but yeah. I mean, it's still good that he made 2 at least, as long as he can make most of them. But I think they could have gone up more and they could have done better if he wasn't taking as many of those threes. I think he just got I mean, he was just getting a bit lucky with those shots because they had Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo on him, who are amazing defenders. So, but overall, it was just a great game for the Lakers, and
Yeah.
I think the big reason the Heat lost was because Bam Adebayo coming right off injury. I think he'll do better in Game 5. Yeah, I think it was mostly Bam Adebayo.
The
He
main reason that the Heat lost was because they put Anthony Davis on Jimmy Butler. That was the main reason. Jimmy Butler was
Yeah.
0 for 5 in the third quarter. That's when they switched Anthony
That
Davis
too.
on.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, still, I think Bam Adebayo could have done more than what he normally does. But again, it wasn't a bad game for the Heat. It wasn't terrible.
No, wasn't terrible, but it was a better game for the Lakers.
Yeah, yeah.
So for Game 5, personally, I'm really hoping that this is a good game. But let's hear your predictions, Jacob.
Okay, gentlemen's sweep. That's what we've seen the Lakers do throughout the whole entire playoffs, and I think they're going to finish it out by gentlemen sweeping the playoffs. They're gonna do it. They did it against the Trailblazers. They did it against the Rockets. They did it against the Nuggets, and they're probably gonna do it against the Heat. That's what's gonna happen, and I find it extremely impressive because it's not like the teams they played against were bad. The Trailblazers had one of the best offenses in the league. So did the Rockets. The Nuggets came back from 2 3-1 leads, and the Heat beat the best record team in the NBA, the Bucks, and the MVP. So I think that the Lakers are still going to come up strong. I still have Anthony Davis and LeBron doing either what they did again in game 4 or I personally think they'll do better. Right? I mean, I think there's certain players that won't do as well as they did in game 4 like Contavious Caldwell Pope, Danny Green. But I could see some other players stepping up like Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris. I think it's more in the matters of Jimmy Butler's hands, what this game is going to decide and how it's going to end. So that's my predictions. Is that Lakers will win this next game? Who do you think is going to win the next game?
You know what, Jacob? You know what?
I
Game
right?
6, 3-1. Miami Heat are taking Game 5. Jimmy Butler is going to go off again. Bam Adebayo is going to have a bounce back game. He didn't have a good game. And Anthony Davis is going to be guarded by Bam. LeBron is going to be guarded by Jimmy. And they're going to be playing much better defense, much better offense. They took a look at the film, see what they needed to change. Eric Spoelstra is going to craft the defense. If I'm giving you my honest answer, I'm going to say the Lakers in 6. I think that they will. I think that Jimmy and Bam are gonna have a phenomenal game, Game 5. But I can't see the series going past 6 anymore. I think that it's tough to say, but I think that the Heat are gonna win this game. It's gonna be really close, though.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't know. I just don't see it going to game 6.
It's gonna be a situation like what happened in last year's finals when the Raptors went up 3-1, and then the Warriors had a bounce back game, and it was really close.
I mean, yeah, I see what you're talking about, but at the same time, I think that game 3, that would happen with LeBron and AD, it's going to fuel the fire with them. It's going to fuel the fire with the Lakers in general because we've seen Anthony Davis play some elite defense. I think him and Jimmy Butler have been the 2 best defenders in this series. LeBron, again, he's not as good as Anthony Davis or Jimmy or Bam, but I still think he's been a great defender for these playoffs, this series. I think that overall the Lakers are just going to be able to do much more. I think Frank Vogel is going to be able to design plays that's not just for AD and LeBron. It's going to be for everybody because that's what we saw in game 4. It wasn't just LeBron and AD were getting all the points like it was in game 1 and game 2. It was everybody, right? You saw Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris, KCP, Alex Caruso, Danny Green. I mean, there's a lot of players on that team that are two-way players, right? There's a lot of players that can do it on both ends, which is the one factor that the Heat don't have. They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of great players, but they only have like two players that you can count as two-way players, Jimmy and Bam. I mean, the Lakers have
Crowder.
more.
Crowder's a good perimeter.
All right,
defender.
Crowder.
Oh,
I'll give
AD.
it to Crowder, but
AD.
not offensively. Defensively, yes, but not offensively.
He's a good 3-point shooter.
Yeah, but he doesn't score. He's not getting on the scoring end, is what I mean.
Hmm.
So I got Lakers in 5. That's mine. But let's go over to probably one of the hardest questions to answer in the NBA right now. Who's winning Finals MVP? So
I'd like to give mine right now.
then give yours right now.
Danny Green.
If you
All right.
mention that man's name one more time, Andrew.
All right. Let's be honest. We know that Anthony Davis and LeBron are the only 2 people on the Lakers that have a chance. It's 50-50.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm saying 55-45 to LeBron. I think the reason AD won't get it is because of game 3, where he only scored 15 points.
Yep.
But also LeBron has been really high on the turnovers. So that's also a low. But you're also going to get a ton of turnovers with LeBron. And if he gets good points, if he gets good assists, the media is not going to look at that. They're not going to look at the turnovers. They're going to look at the points and what really matters. But turnovers do matter. So I'm picking LeBron.
I mean, I don't think it's really a shocker that I picked LeBron, but it's for me, yeah, I think it's also really close. It's not like LeBron has a huge lead against AD and he's a clear Finals MVP. No, I think this next game, and let's just say hypothetically, the Heat win, pushes to game 6. This next game, these next 2 games, if AD can do better than LeBron, then that's gonna push him to probably win the Finals MVP. It's just going to depend on how AD can play on who is going to win it. I think when it comes to consistency throughout the Finals, it's been more LeBron. He hasn't really had. I mean, game 3, he wasn't scoring as much. I think he could have scored more, but he's been very consistent with how he's been playing throughout these finals. AD has been a bit all over the place. His defense has been really good, though. I will say that. He's been the best defensive player. LeBron, the best offensive. So for me, I'm saying LeBron right now because of how he's been playing. But I think moving forward and overall, it's going to depend on how AD plays. That's all for today, everyone.
Feel free to comment down below what you think the results of the finals are going to be and who you have winning the Finals MVP.
Tune into the next episode on Monday. See you guys next time.